So see, this is our first class for physics, and in this class we are first I will tell you what are the chapters we are going to cover for the 8th class. And this is foundation, right? So I am giving you one by one basic details about chapters, and then one chapter will pick up and will grow in the chapter. So see, we have to understand in chapter 1 measurement, and then in chapter 2 we have to understand kinematics. So I will start with chapter 2, measurement we will do in the last, and then we have chapter 3, that is called dynamics. Kinematics is different chapter, dynamics is different chapter, and then we will go and we'll understand chapter 4. In that we'll understand hydrostatics, and then we have chapter 5. There we'll understand wave, motion and sound, and then we have chapter 6. There we'll understand heat, HEAT, heat. And then we have chapter 7. There we'll understand light, LIGHT, light. And then we have chapter 8, that is called electricity. And then we have chapter 9, that is called magnetism. And then we have chapter 10, that is called electromagnetism. And then we have chapter 11, that is called source of energy. Very simple chapter. And in that we will discuss like fossil fuels, renewable source of energy, air pollution, those things. So that's all. So these 11 chapters we have to cover. So today we will start with chapter kinematics. So in this kinematics chapter, see, first of all we will understand what is the meaning of kinematics, because there are two words. One word is kinetic and one word is kinematics. And of course in next chapter we have dynamics. So students are confused with the word called statics, with the word called dynamics, with the word kinematics. Yes, ask. Okay, kinetics. So now see, statics. Whenever we are dealing with statics, in this our object will be in rest, and to keep the object in rest there will be equal and opposite forces acting on the object. So when we study this kind of science where object is not in motion, object is in rest, but all the forces are acting on the object, and all the forces are giving you zero resultant force. What is resultant force? Total summation of all the forces, total addition. So like one example, suppose you have an object. This object is of 2 kg, and imagine from left side you are applying 2 Newton force, and from right side also you are applying 2 Newton force. So and their line of action is also same, like on this line they are acting. In that case this force and this force, they will neutralize each other, then resultant force on the object will be zero. Like this kind of questions and studies we will do under statics. Then we go for dynamics. So when you talk about dynamics, in the dynamics we have two parts. One part is known as kinematics and one part is known as kinetic. They both are different. So in the kinematics, whenever motion is happening, dynamics means of course motion is happening, it is dynamic, motion is happening. So in the kinematics, whenever motion is happening, because of, the motion is happening, we want to understand what is the cause. What is the cause? If you talk about the total dynamics, this dynamics itself, you understand, the total dynamics itself contains your cause of motion and of course the motion also. So that's why we classify them into two parts. So in case of kinematics, It deals with the motion of bodies without considering the cause of motion. When you talk about kinematics, in this we don't bother about cause of motion, we only bother about motion. It is like if I'll ask the question, did you eat your lunch? Then you will say yes sir. Then that's all. I got my answer, you have taken your lunch. I did not ask what was there in the lunch. I mean, what was the item you have taken in lunch. That item I'm not bothering. I'm just bothering whether you have taken your lunch or not. So in same way, when motion is happening and you will not bother why motion is happening, then it is known as kinematics. But when you also include the cause, it's like motion of the bodies considering the cause of motion. For example, we have sun and we have earth. Earth is revolving around the sun. See, we have two words. One word is rotation, one word is revolution. They both are different. Rotation means like a fan. Fan is rotating about this axis, but earth is revolving around the sun. At the same time, earth is also rotating on its own axis. Is that clear? Okay, so rotation is different, revolution is different. When you talk about the rotation, fan is the example, self rotation of earth is example, and revolution means when earth is revolving around the sun, that is revolution. And other than that, here main logic is what is your kinematics and what is your kinetic. So in kinematics we discuss only about the motion, we don't discuss cause. In kinetics we discuss motion with its cause. It's like why earth is revolving around the sun, that why answer, why that why also we include in kinetics. Okay, so yeah, now first of all we will understand what is the meaning of rest and what is the meaning of motion. We have two words, one word is called rest, one word is called motion. So let's understand what is called rest. See, right now if I will ask, you are in rest or in motion? What is your answer? You are in rest. Okay, I am in motion or I am in rest? I am sitting on a chair. Actually, while teaching you, I am sitting on a chair. So rest. Okay. In your kitchen there will be refrigerator or fridge. That is in rest or motion? That is in rest or motion? Rest. Okay. Now you see, your all the answers are wrong. Why? I cannot say wrong, they are correct also, but listen, you will enjoy this class. Why? Suppose this is the earth, and on the earth you are here and I am here. Earth is revolving. Can we see the revolution of earth? No, we cannot see. But reality is earth is revolving. Who can see the earth's revolution? If there is any scientist sitting in the satellite, right? You know there is something called ISS, International Space Station. So if actually International Space Station is made for some research purpose. So scientists go there and they do some research and they come back. So imagine this is your ISS. So any scientist is sitting on the ISS, they can clearly see that earth is revolving. So you are also revolving with the earth. So actually you are in motion. So for this scientist you are in motion, but for me you are not in motion, because you are in Porur, that place, whatever place, okay, in that room, and you are not moving. So with respect to me, your location is not being changed. I mean to say that, imagine this is the earth and I am here, you are here, and this is the satellite. In this satellite one scientist is sitting. So suppose this distance is suppose 15 kilometer between me and you. Right now the distance is suppose 25 kilometer. So because you are not changing your location, you are not changing your position. If you will send me your live location on WhatsApp, you know there is a feature on WhatsApp called live location. You can share your live location, exactly where are you right now. So that location will never change until and unless you will not move, right? But imagine the same live location if you share with the scientist sitting in the this thing ISS. So he will see that okay, everything is moving, correct? Your location will not match, correct? Yes, because you're shifting. So that is the point. So here actually nothing is in rest, and you can say everything is in rest, nothing is in motion, everything is motion. Like it is kind of like basic talk I am talking. But in physics, actually we are learning science. What is science? Science means properly explained and properly arranged knowledge. It's science. It means if you want to define rest, you have to define rest properly. If you want to define motion, you have to define motion properly. You cannot say nothing is in rest, everything is in rest, nothing is in motion, everything is in motion. It depends on person to person, okay? So see, like in our real life when we talk, what is happiness for you? What is happiness for you? So how do you say what is happiness for you? Suppose I am giving 3 options. 1, 2, 3. What is happiness for you? Option 1, mom and dad. Option 2, pizza. Option 3, dresses. What is happiness for you? Yeah, what is happiness for you? Mom and dad, pizza, or dresses? Okay, so you want to say that family, right? Okay, suppose there are some 50 students in the class, then maybe someone will say sir pizza, maybe sir dresses. So I mean to say that this happiness word depends on person to person. Okay, if I can include some extra questions here: girlfriend or boyfriend, like that, husband or wife, or kids. Like already you are a small kid, but like in case if this question I'll ask to some adult people and I'll give the option kids. So I mean to say kids, wife, something. So they have several options. So definitely all the people will not choose family. So you can say that it depends on person to person, because it is not a science. It is not a science. Science means everything is properly explained in detail. So if you want to define the rest, or if you want to define motion, before that you should understand there is something called frame of reference. Frame of reference. What is the meaning of frame of reference? Frame of reference is like with respect to which point or with which person or which point you want to define the motion. For example, if this is a bus, this bus is going on the road, this is the tire in the bus, and bus is going in this direction. Suppose there are 3 people sitting in the bus, and there is one driver also riding the bus, suppose, and there is one extra person standing on the road. So for this person, extra person, 2 people are sitting on the road. Now for this person, all the 3 are in motion. For this red color person also, all the 3 are in motion. But for this green person, red is in stationary condition. It is not moving. In same way, when they are seeing the bus, all the 3 people are moving. But for the first person, the second person is not moving, and third person is not moving. But for this green person, all the 3 are moving. You understand the difference? So frame of reference means what is your reference? So according to this person, when you are considering this person as your reference, this bus is in motion, so all the people are in motion. But if you are considering the first person as your reference, then these 2 people are not in motion, but these 2 people are going backside. You understand? Opposite side. if the bus is, yeah, if bus is going this side, these people will go this side, but actually they are stationary. They are stationary on the road, but these people will think that okay, this is going in this direction. Okay, so see now. So rest is clear and motion is clear. Rest means I will how will you write rest or motion? They are physical state of any object. Any object is in rest or motion, comma, can be decided according to the frame of reference. This is your point 1, this is your point 2. Are you taking any notes? Take down. Take down. Let me know once you are done. Very good. Okay. Third point you write. Any object can be in rest with respect to with respect to, we write in short like this: w dot t dot r dot with respect to, sorry, w r t with respect to. Any object can be in rest with respect to some frame of references, but the same object can be in motion with respect to other frame of references. At the same time. At the same time. Copy down. Now, so before starting the class, I asked you are in rest or motion. So now what is your answer? So you will say, sir, you will say like this, sir, first, you can give the answer after deciding frame of reference. So for example, you are sitting somewhere in your room, and with respect to your fridge, you are not changing your position, so you are in rest. But with respect to a scientist sitting in ISS, you are in motion. So yes, so actually motion or rest, they are not absolute phenomena, they are relative phenomena. I mean, if I will ask what is your height, so your height is something. What if I say what is my height, so my height is something. So with respect to you also my height is same, with respect to that scientist also sitting in ISS my height is same, with respect to person moving in car my height is same. So my height is absolute thing. Are you getting? But suppose you got math result, suppose you got 35 out of 35, and suppose some other student got 20 out of 35, then 35 is your absolute marks, but how much extra you are with this guy? 15 is your relative mark. So your because already this guy has got 20 and you are 15 extra. So your relative marks is 25. Sorry, 15. So you got two words here. One is absolute word and one is relative word. Okay. So for example, one person is this, one person is this. This person height is 5 feet and this person height is 5 feet 3 inches. So relative height for this guy is plus 3 inch and relative height of this guy is minus 3 inch, because this is smaller na, so minus 3 inch and here plus 3 inch, right? Extra means plus 3 inch and low means minus 3 inch relative height, and absolute heights are exactly here. So in that way, if I will ask your absolute position, so you cannot say your absolute position, because your absolute position is being changed according to frame of reference. For me, you are at 25 kilometer, that is your absolute position, but for the person sitting in the satellite, your position is not same, is being changed. You are same, but position is not being same, right? It is changing person to person. Yeah, so that is the meaning of, that is the importance of frame of reference. So you understood what is frame of reference? Frame of reference is nothing but with respect to which thing you are deciding your distance and motion. For example, okay, here we have to add one more thing. I have given you here, any object can be in rest with respect to some frame of reference, but same object can be in motion with respect to other frame of reference at the same time. Now see, you have to write here, next point, I think fourth point, rest and motion, they are relative property. They are relative property. Yes. Take down. Okay. So rest and motion clear, and now understand. Are you getting what is going on? Okay. Now I will give example for frame of reference. Your heading is example for frame of reference. So two examples I will take. Example 1, you have a bus. Draw this bus. Say this is a bus going in this direction. This guy is driver. It is going on the road. So one person is sitting here, person P1, and another person P2, and in the bus you have person P3 and P4, and this driver is P5. So case 1, considering P3, person P3 as frame of reference. You write the full form, frame of reference. So we are considering P3 as a frame of reference. So in that case, P4 and P5 are in rest, but P1 and P2 are moving. I will erase here, erasing this part. Now case 2. Considering P2 as frame of reference, so P1 is in rest, but P3, P4, P5 are in motion. Zara, it's very easy topic. Very good. Now one more example. One more example. Oh, copy down first. Very good. Now see example 2. Very popular example. This is your earth, and this is your equator, and suppose one person is sitting here, one person is sitting here, and this is your satellite. Satellite is moving in this direction, and in the satellite you have any person sitting. So this person is P1, this person is P2, this person is P3. So again you can have case 1, when P1, when person P1 considered as frame of reference, then P2 is in rest. Now case 2, when person P3 considered as frame of reference, then P2 is in motion. Take down. Done? Take your time, copy down slowly, no hurry worry. Done? Very good. Okay, so now we will understand what is called scalar property and what is called vector property. So example, no, next point you write scalar comma vector comma tensor properties. This is your heading. Take your heading. Okay, now we will understand what is scalar, what is vector, what is tensor. So for this, all the physical properties, bracket, for example pressure, force, stress, etc. are classified in 3 categories. all the physical properties, example pressure, force, shear, they are classified in three categories. So in which your first category is scalar. So what are the properties are known as scalar properties? So properties which need only magnitude to define. Only one line. Properties which need only magnitude to define. Now for example, time, temperature, pressure. Imagine before that I will teach you vector and tensor, then I will explain the physical meaning of this. So you take down second property is vector. Now what is vector? Properties which need magnitude and direction both together. Okay, let's understand what is the meaning. Yes, magnitude means the value. It's like suppose if you have any biscuit packet, in biscuit packet how many pieces of biscuit is kept? Suppose 10 piece, so 10 became magnitude. Okay, suppose you have a pencil or any pen, then what is the length of the pencil and pen? So suppose you will say, sir, 2 meter, so this 2 became magnitude. In case of biscuit, suppose you have 10 biscuit, this 10 the English, this math 10 digit, only the digit, that is called magnitude. Okay, suppose someone's age is 15 years, so this 15 is called magnitude. Suppose any temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, so this 20 is called magnitude. You understand? Only the number. Okay, so now we have to write. Have you copied this much? Okay, so now we'll write the third one, tensor. Now we'll go for tensor. Third, tensor. Now tensor spelling is T-E-N-S-O-R, tensor. So in tensor, properties which need magnitude, direction and the plane is are tensor properties, comma, are tensor properties. Okay, now let's understand properties. First one, properties which needs only magnitude to define. Let's understand one by one. Suppose this is any girl, and suppose in the hand you have a wristwatch, and in the wristwatch, this example is complicated. Suppose you have a home. In the home you have 4 walls. So on this wall you are having a watch, and these needles are showing that it is 10 p.m. At the same time, if you have another watch on the another wall, then direction of watch is changed now, correct? This was suppose east facing, this is north facing, so direction of both the watches are not same, but time is same, correct? Whether you put this watch on this plane or if you put watch on this plane does not matter, time is same. Whether you are watching the watch from this direction or you are watching the watch from this direction, the time will be same. It means what? Plane and direction both are not affecting the time. It means what? Properties which need only magnitude to define. So that example is time. You understand? Okay. Now let's understand how temperature. Example. Suppose this is your house. Now in this house somewhere you have kitchen, and in the kitchen suppose this is your stove, and on the stove you are cooking coffee. So to cook the coffee you have kept a pan. Now see, when suppose your flame is at the maximum limit, the highest flame, and the flame is coming and you are cooking the coffee, and just imagine coffee is taking some time, suppose 10 minutes. Suppose coffee is being 10 minutes. If you will turn the direction of stove, if you will change the direction of stove, or if you will remove from this house and put to some other house, and same amount of coffee, same pan, same gas, same person, but only change the direction, so do you think it will change the coffee? No, right? Because coffee has nothing to do with the home or person or who is cooking or blah blah things. Coffee just have to bother about one thing, and what is that? The flame, correct? Until and unless, or directly you can say temperature. If you are providing same temperature, coffee will be ready in 10 minutes. Whether you provide this temperature by using LPG gas or you provide this temperature in some oven, right? Does not matter. Coffee will be ready in same time, correct? This example clear? So in this example we are trying to say that how your temperature is scalar quantity, because temperature has nothing to do with direction. In whatever direction you put the pan like this, or put handle this side, put handle that does not matter. It will not change the temperature. In same way, it does not matter in which plane you are keeping. You keep your coffee like this, or you keep coffee in some other plane, or even though if you have inclined plane, on the inclined plane you keep your stove, and over that you keep the coffee and close the coffee, but it will give you the same time, right? Of course, if you are inclining and if you are not putting the thing here, it will come out, coffee will come out, but don't let it come out. Close this properly, then you will be getting coffee. Are you getting what is going on? So I am just trying to say that your time is scalar quantity, your temperature is scalar quantity. Okay. So in same way you have pressure also, that is also scalar quantity. So I will give you list, and you after the class you can just go through like what are the quantities are scalar quantities, what are the quantities are vector quantities. Now let's understand one example of vector quantity. Okay. Now force is vector. Force is an example. Force is an example of vector quantity. But how? How? Imagine there is a home. Now in this home you have a door, and this door is this, and you are Zara, and Zara is going and she wants to enter to the room, but she found that there is a door. So I told Zara, there is something called force, and if you will apply 10 Newton force, then you can open the door. Then Zara will go to the door, and Zara will push the door in this direction by applying force 10 Newton, and she will think this door will open. But when Zara tried this, she could not open the door even though she was able to apply 10 Newton force. Then you called me. You said, sir, you said 10 Newton, I applied 10 Newton, but door is not being open. What should I do? Then I said, try one more time. Then what Zara did? She started she holded here and she started sliding the door in this direction. She thought maybe if she will slide in this direction, door will open. On the rail there was one rail track. She thought, okay, door will slide in this direction, it may open. But again door did not open. Again she applied 10 Newton successfully. Then she called me back. What, sir? Is it any joke? I am hungry and you are saying 10 Newton I am applying, but I am not able to open the door. What should I do? Food is inside. Then I will say, Zara, I am teaching you vector quantity. That's why I am not giving you one extra item. That is called direction. Then Zara said, sir, okay, then tell me direction also, na? You are only telling the amount. You are only telling the magnitude. Tell me direction also. Then I will say, okay, apply 10 Newton force but upward. So the door will go upward. So Zara, here I am trying to say that force, if you want to open something, you need direction also. Only the magnitude is not sufficient. Right? Even though some very heavy person will come, but if the person is not knowing that direction is upward, so even though you apply 1000 Newton force, 20,000 does not matter. Direction should be correct. Then only door can open. So there are some quantities in science, they are based on direction and magnitude also. Magnitude is for everything, but direction also. So force is vector quantity. Yes, it is vector quantity. Why? Because it has magnitude and direction as well. This example clear? Very good. Did you enjoy this topic? Very good. So now one example. There is something called when I will teach you electric field, magnetic field, that time I will teach you that example. Now there is something called stress. Like you have time as a property, you have temperature as a property, you have force as a property, pressure as a property, area, length, volume, circumference. In same way you have stress also as a property. So your stress needs magnitude also plus direction also plus plane also. Let's understand. Imagine you have a cube like this, and in this direction you are applying stress. So what will happen? You will tell me, okay, first one thing, stress you will learn in 11th class. Exactly what is stress? This stress you will learn in 11th class. Right now just I am trying to explain the example of tensor quantity. That's why I am teaching you stress now. So only one thing I will teach you, that stress is having unit of Pascal. Pascal. So suppose you have stress 10 Pascal. Pascal is unit. Like 10 meter, meter is unit. 10 centimeter, centimeter is unit. In same way, if I'll say stress is 10 Pascal, then Pascal is unit for stress. Yeah. So suppose you are applying 10 Pascal stress. So if you'll apply 10 Pascal stress, then this body will rotate in this direction. But if the same 10 Pascal you apply here, then body will rotate in this direction. But if the same 10 Pascal you apply like this, then body will rotate in this direction. So you can see in this example, plane is same, but direction is different. That's why rotation is different. In this example, your plane is also different and direction is also different, so rotation is here. So here you are learning one thing, you need magnitude also, means 10 Pascal. If you will apply 100 Pascal, then rotation will be faster and easy. If you apply 1000 Pascal, it means of course magnitude matters. So magnitude is one thing, at the same time direction. So you can see magnitude is one thing and then second thing is direction. If you apply in this direction, then body will rotate like this. On same plane, direction change, rotation change. So direction is one thing. And then third thing, plane. On which plane you are applying the stress. So you can see in this plane I am applying the stress and in this plane I am applying the stress. Both stress is upward. This is also upward, this is also upward. But because plane is different, that's why your rotation will be different. So here stress is a property which needs your magnitude, which will have direction and which will have plane also. So tensor quantities are the quantities, they have all the three things. So I will summarize. There is something called scalar, there is something called vector, and there is something called tensor. In case of a scalar, only magnitude is required. Example, time, temperature, pressure. In case of vector, magnitude plus direction. Direction is also required. Two things are required. In case of tensor, magnitude plus direction plus plane. All the three are required. So example of tensor is stress. Example of scalar is time, temperature, pressure, mass. These things are density. These things are direction. Value of scalar. Unit of example of scalar. And vector, force, velocity, acceleration. So these are the popular examples of vector quantities.